Before we get to our Week 2 primetime Bengals preview episode, I want to make mention of the other shows and podcasts we have going on in the Press Play Podcast Network. Join Dennis Maniloff and Kenny Roto on the Next Man Up podcast for all of your Cleveland sports happenings. They offer the best opinion and insight into the trending stories with the Browns, Indians, and Cavs. Make sure to check out Next Man Up. Brent Spillane and Mike Voorhees are covering your Cleveland Indians for us on the Swing and a Try podcast. They're doing their best to keep things positive, but it's hard. The Indians just lost an extra innings to the Cubs as I'm recording this. They've now lost 8 straight, and who knows when that's going to stop. Sim Amico of Sports Illustrated and myself talk all things Cavs on the Break. We're getting ready to break down the upcoming draft. You want to check that out. And of course, you have this show, which is great. And I know I'm biased, but Camryn and Jeremy do great work. And this is one of the best Browns pods available. There, I said it. I'm sorry. It is. In this episode, Camryn gives us her keys to the game. We preview our matchup against the Bengals and make some bold predictions. Jim Donovan, take us away.
45-40, run, William, run! He's got blockers in front, 5, touchdown! Joshua Cribbs! Snap back, ball down, kick blocked! They blocked the kick!
This is the Oranges, Oranger Browns podcast, part of the Press Play Podcast Network. I'm your host, Chase Smith, and with me, as always, he's your Browns insider, Jeremy Powell. Jeremy, what's up?
Hey, Chase, what is up, my man? Kind of excited for tomorrow. Really interested to see what happens, bud.
Yeah, and joining us all season long, she's your favorite Emmy-nominated digital content producer at News Channel 5, Camryn Justice. Camryn, how do you feel about Thursday night?
You know, the nerves are setting in. We're getting closer, but I feel good. I feel like this is the Browns team that we should be seeing. This is the Browns team that we want to see, hopefully, coming out on Thursday.
Well, let's kick this episode off with Camryn's keys to the game. Camryn, what do you got for us tonight?
All right, 3 keys to this game on Thursday under the primetime lights. As per usual, the Browns are going to have to be heavy on the run game. That's not a surprise. That should be the key to every game this season. They have to stick with it, though. This game on Thursday is so crucial to get Chubb and Hunt so many touches. I want to see the heaviest run game I've seen last season, this season, in this game. The Bengals allowed 155 rushing yards last Sunday. Mm-hmm. And I mean, let's be real. They have the potential to stop the run, not very well though. Chubb and Hunt, they provide so many opportunities for the Browns to not just score, but to push up the field and get these. You saw the David Njoku touchdown in the end zone. If you can use Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt like you did with the 2 runs they had in that drive to push them up the field into the red zone, you're going to have an amazing time, and it's going to look effortless. But to do that, they're going to have to use my third key of the game. We'll get to that in a second. The second key of the game is Myles Garrett. He is him and him alone. He needs to have a breakout game. Sunday, he was very quiet, and I know it's hard to have an explosive game against Lamar Jackson. It's Lamar Jackson, let's be real. But Joe Burrow is Myles Garrett's bread and butter. He's a rookie quarterback. Myles Garrett eats rookie quarterbacks alive. We know this. And yes, Joe Burrow is really good. He's fast. He's, relatively speaking, not compared to Lamar Jackson, but he can be elusive. But Myles Garrett is faster. He should be able to dominate against that team. And they have the second worst offensive line in the league. That's going to be crucial for the Browns. They have to break through. They have to get through. They have to get Burrow, make him see ghosts. I want him to be flustered. I don't want him to be able to find his targets because you saw on Sunday he had a great game, and Joe Burrow seems to be the player that we think he's going to be. So I need Myles Garrett to show up and, give him that dose of reality. You are a rookie quarterback. This is your second game in the league. Myles Garrett needs to make him feel like that. Now, going to my third point, it ties into the run game because Kevin Stefanski, he knows what he's doing. I truly believe that. I don't want to doubt him in week 1 already. That was a rough first outing, but I mean, what we've seen of him so far, just, the plan, the moves that have been made around his offense, it looks like there's a plan for the scheme. But on Sunday, the Browns, they shied away from play action, which was super strange to me, and I don't know why that happened. So Baker Mayfield threw 39 passes, but less than 10 were taken out of play action. That doesn't make any sense to me because that's where he thrives. In those play action snaps, Baker threw no interceptions. He threw for a touchdown. He had the highest QB rating of the entire game under those snaps. So with Stefanski's offense, the way it's worked, the way it's set up, we should be seeing a lot more play action, and that can start on Thursday. I don't know. Maybe it was just, planning. It was planning for the Ravens. That's the game plan they went with based off of how they performed last year, the year before, and the year before that. But against the Bengals, it has to happen. We saw it successful in Minnesota under Stefanski. The way that he makes it look with Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb in the backfield, he should be able to provide an offense that the defense can't plan for. They shouldn't be able to tell whether he's going to run, whether he's going to pass, and that should provide Baker the ability to better read the field, because that was a big struggle of his on Sunday. He was one look staring him down. It wasn't good. So give him the option, give him the opportunity, make the defense question what's going on. I think Baker's going to look more comfortable in it. I think the offense is going to flow more smoothly. It's not going to be a mess that we saw on Sunday. And honestly, we're going to get to see, if they do that, I think we're going to get to see the Kevin Stefanski that we wanted to see when they hired him, because that was the reason they hired him. So if they do those three things, run the ball a ton, Myles Garrett shows up and shows out, and play action as much as humanly possible, I really think that we're going to see a very smooth, very exciting Browns game. So those are my keys to the game. Take them or leave them. You have them right there.
Jeremy, you're the resident locksmith. How do those keys sound, man?
They sound great. No, I agree. I actually agree with everything she said. I guess the one worry right now is, I don't know if you guys saw the injury report today. We have some serious injury issues.
I want to bring
already.
that up in a moment.
Oh my goodness. But the good news for the Browns is Geno Atkins is out, so, but yeah, the key, I agree 100%. We need a big game from Myles Garrett. He has to step up. We need to run the ball. And like she said, the play action pass off the running game is Baker's strength, and it's Kevin Stefanski's staple. So we need to get back to doing those things this week. When you get down, what's the old saying by Mike Tyson? A plan's only as good until you get hit in the face. Browns got hit in the face, right? Pretty bad on Sunday. So they got away from what they like to do. That's why they need to control the clock, control the running game so they can do those things.
The Browns injury report is 10 players deep. I want to read it out loud because the names that are on this list, the talent, the starting caliber level players on this list is just absurd.
Money.
Jarvis Landry, questionable hip. Olivier Vernon, questionable abdomen. Mac Wilson, questionable knee. Greedy Williams, questionable shoulder. Jacob Phillips, questionable knee. Kevin Johnson, questionable abdomen. Jack Conklin, questionable ankle. J.C. Treader, questionable knee. Chris Hubbard, his starting level caliber, that's up in the air. Questionable ankle. Jedrick Wills, questionable shin. Bengals have 2. Geno Atkins is questionable with the shoulder.
He's out now. He's been rolled out.
Yeah, and I don't want to give you the bad news, but Kevin Johnson, Greedy Williams, Mac Wilson, and Jacob Phillips are
all rolled out.
Rolled
out.
Yeah, obviously, Mac Wilson as well. And this was just from a CBS app I have here.
Yeah, they just adjusted it. They're like she said, they are all out.
That's still insane.
Yeah.
That is so many players, so many starters, so many minutes, so many just football IQ presence that the Browns will not have. We felt that last week against a Super Bowl contending Ravens. The Bengals, a little bit different story. Camryn, I love your keys. I feel like those shouldn't be too difficult to, run the ball. You have Chubb, you have Hunt. Why wouldn't you run the ball? You have Myles Garrett. Why wouldn't you, put him in a position to rush the quarterback? And if Baker can get his footwork right, or we set up the play action pass with the run, it seems like it works really, really well. So I think those are great keys. I don't want Baker to try to overcompensate and do too much, right? I don't want him to get into I'm going to be better than Joe Burrow and I got to show him I'm better. And I don't want him to get into that mindset. I just want the game to come to him. Lamar Jackson said this week that the game has slowed down for him. Camryn, did you tweet this? You wish Baker had say that same thing?
Oh, I did not tweet that, but I know the tweet that you're talking about.
It just doesn't seem like the game has slowed down for Baker. So I want to see progress from Baker, which is really hard to say. I think those are the keys. I think we all kind of are like optimistic about this game on Thursday night, tomorrow night, or tonight, whenever you guys listen to this pod. But we'll see. Camryn, how do you feel about the game?
I know it's probably a false confidence, but I really feel like if the Browns are going to do anything successfully, it's going to start tomorrow. It's going to start on Thursday against the Bengals. It has to start on Thursday against the Bengals. So, I mean, they have all of the opportunity in the world to show us what they have to offer. They have the ability to show us although injury riddled, a defense that should be able to contend, if not, break through against the Bengals, who are not great. Their offensive line is one of the worst. And you have a rookie quarterback. He's a good quarterback, but he's a rookie. So they should be able to show us that what they can do defensively. This should be a really good game for the guys, the next man up guys who are going to take in the play, fill the role of these players who are injured. This should be a good opportunity for them to really get the reps in a way that, they're not looking like fools. It's hard to do that against the Ravens. It's not so hard to do against the Bengals. So confidence in that aspect. I really think that the Browns have probably learned their lesson, one from the game and two from all of the questions that they fielded about, feeding Odell Beckham Jr. I think that's a really big point that they need to focus on in a more natural way. I think they learned that force feeding is not great, and it creates these weird storylines. Kevin Stefanski got his first taste of that. So I don't know. I feel like they haven't had much time, but they've had some time to reflect. They had a lot of eye-opening moments that should help form and guide this team into something that I think Cleveland could eventually be proud of.
Jeremy, let's jump to the game preview here. Game is Thursday night, 8:20 kickoff at First Energy Stadium in the CLE. You will be in attendance. Jeremy, you're wearing a mask all the time. Did you get the restrictions and the guidelines and the protocols? Yes,
I got it from you and the Browns.
I saw it.
Thank you for sharing. I mean, and like I said, I'm used to wearing a mask. I wear a mask for work most of the day, and then I coach football 4 hours a day in a mask. So I'm actually used to it. I have no problem with the mask. I have no problem with the restrictions. I kind of look at restrictions as the trade-off for being allowed to do these things, so I'm fine with it. I'm fine with everything. I think that I got to give the Browns credit. I think they went above and beyond to make this as safe as possible. Their protocols are excellent. The Browns, no matter how the team's been on the field, the organization lately has done things right?
I agree.
So I'll give them that. I wish it was maybe 12,000 instead of 6, but hey, it's still going to be exciting. I'm excited to be there. I'm glad for the people that get to go. It's going to be it's going to be interesting. That's for sure. It'll be an experience. I'm taking Hunter. I know it's letting him stay up late. Yeah, and Hunter, we've talked about this before. Hunter loves LSU. He thinks he's going to play for LSU one day. So, of course, he can't wait. I promised him I'd take him when Joe Burrow came. I didn't realize it was a night game at the time. But that's all right.
Weekday
I promised it, so we'll do it. Yeah.
School night game.
I always, I tell you, Hunter gets straight A's. So I always joke, if you get straight A's, I'll give you a little more leeway on stuff like this. So, but, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. And you know what, I think I like the Browns' chances. I like Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow is going to be an excellent player, but he's a rookie quarterback making his second start in a short week, his first road game. I think a lot of that plays into the Browns' hands. If we can get a few of these guys, if a couple of the guys on that are questionable play, which, I mean, Jarvis has never missed a game, right? I think Jarvis will play, and I think Conklin will play. I think Treader will play. So if those guys play, I still like our chances. I think I agree with Camryn there. I think that sets up nicely for the Browns if those guys play.
The Bengals and Browns are both 0-1, Camryn. Browns 0-1 in the division. Bengals last week lost a heartbreaker to the Chargers. Rookie Joe Burrow was 23 for 36, 193 yards, no touchdowns, but 1 interception. Impressive down the stretch, and had a touchdown taken away from A.J. Green. He lost in typical Bengal fashion. The kicker pulled a hamstring on the kick. They signed Austin Seibert. We've seen all the tweets, all the hypotheticals of him kicking a game-winning field goal against us on Thursday.
Oh, man.
The like you mentioned, Camryn, the Chargers did have success running the ball. And yeah, do you guys, have you looked at the line? Camryn, you said you don't. Jeremy, have you looked at the line?
I never look at it before we do this show because you always ask me, so I always want to be organic and guess. So I'm going to say Browns by 2.5.
Camryn, do you have a guess?
I actually know it, so.
Okay. Yeah. So Jeremy, do you want to say it, Camryn?
It is 5.5, is it not?
Yes. Browns by 5.5.
Whoa, okay.
Some even have
Wow.
listed at 6.
Glad to be wrong.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say about the Bengals. I think they have a lot of speed on offense. And I don't know if our corners, how they will handle speed. We know how they handled quarterback speed and tight ends across the middle. The Bengals have a lot of burners. And if they can get behind our defensive backs and Burrow can lay it out there, I don't know. It might be a shootout. It might be, hey, both of these defenses are awful, and it's a matter of who makes the least amount of mistakes and who has the ball last. Camryn, you think that's a possibility?
I think it's going to be tough, but yeah. I mean, I have I don't want to say low expectations, but I mean, we didn't see great things. So I'm going in hoping for the best, and just I'm hoping that these next men up, whoever plays, whoever doesn't play, they can really, fill that void or step up and be able to, what's the word I'm looking for? Combat the Bengals and their speed.
Jeremy, how do you defend the speed of the Bengals?
I think you mix coverages, so you probably play a lot of 2 deep, because they have John Ross, who's, you're right, that they have a budding group of receivers that could be special in a few years. You got T. Higgins that you drafted. You have John Ross. You have Boyd. I like Boyd a lot. You have A.J. Green. I mean, you have a nice group of receivers for a rookie quarterback to work with. And you have Joe Mixon, who you just signed to a big contract. But I think that's how you do it, because you're going to have you have a rookie quarterback, so you disguise coverages. You play a lot of 2 deep. You force them to play underneath. You don't get beat deep on those deep balls. I think that's one way you do it. And then you have a good pass rush. That changes everything. Mm-hmm. If you can get to the quarterback, that doesn't let those, a lot of times plays that are downfield require time to throw. It's 5 and 7 step drops, right? So, you get in the quarterback's face, you pressure him, you make him make quicker decisions, and you prevent him from going deep by playing specific coverages. That's what I think the Browns will try to do. And I think any defensive coordinator worth his salt will try to confuse a rookie quarterback, especially one on a short week without a lot of time to prepare.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to come down to who has the ball last and makes least amount of mistakes. Jeremy, what do you think is going to happen on tomorrow night?
I think that, like I said, I think the Browns are going to win. I talked a lot about how bad the Browns linebacker group is. The Bengals might be the only team in the league with as bad a linebacker group. Their defense is not good. And like we said, Geno Atkins, who's the one stalwart of that defense, is out, and his backup is out. Mike Daniels. They actually brought up ex-Brown Jamie Meter today to start at nose tackle from off the practice squad to starting. So, that's a benefit. Their secondary, they signed Von Bell. It's not great, though. It's a lot of young guys, unproven guys, names that you have not heard. So I think you're right that it could be a high-scoring game, and I do think the Browns are going to win the game. I really do. I'm not saying this is going to turn the season around. I'm not saying we're going to have a great season, but I do think the Browns win this game. I think they win it they cover 10 to 12 points, somewhere in that range. And I think that Hunt and Chubb both have big nights.
Camryn, what do you think is going to happen Thursday night, Browns-Bengals?
If what I think what should happen is the Browns, it'll probably be a little bit higher scoring of a game. I think the Browns should be able to win this one by 2 scores, and it shouldn't be the ability for Austin Seibert to come in and kick a game-winning field goal shouldn't exist in the first place. So those scenarios are ridiculous to me. If they found themselves in that spot, I think they'd have a lot more to worry about than, the revenge of Austin Seibert on the Browns, because they've got to have a decent win here. it should be, like I said, two score win from the Browns. And yeah, the defense is probably going to falter a little bit. Joe Burrow's probably going to get downfield. They're probably going to score on the Browns. But I honestly, with the way the Browns offense has the potential to run and our defense's potential on paper with Joe Woods coordinating it, I mean, this shouldn't be a nail biter. This should be, the Browns are comfortable. You might get a little nervous when the Bengals score, but the Browns answer back. Should be a nice back and forth with the Browns staying on top for most of the game.
Let's jump to narratives. Last week, we saw this coming. Brown's going to Brown. Season coach versus new coach. These were all narratives that we said we could see that there's a possibility could happen. And what you know it, what did we see? Hey, it's the only normal thing in 2020 is the Cleveland Browns or whatever. Like that was all over the place. We saw that one coming. Yeah. We saw this is just the consistency of the Ravens against the inexperienced Browns coaches. Like we saw those narratives like days before it happened. What are the narratives that could happen from this game, Jeremy? What's one you got?
I think a big narrative has started the rumblings of Odell Beckham Jr. being on the trading block. If Odell comes back out and he looks like he doesn't want to be out there and he doesn't make any plays, I think that turns into a narrative, especially with the game being on national TV. They're looking for something to focus on. So I think getting, like you guys talked about earlier, not necessarily force feeding him the ball, but getting Odell Beckham Jr. some looks and some touches early is going to be big and, batting down that narrative.
Camryn, you were shaking your head. That doesn't sit right with you?
I agree with what Jeremy said. I mean, that's a huge part of what the Browns need to do, but the trade rumors they blow my mind. I can't believe they're already here one weekend and
my girl Mary Kay all over it.
I cannot believe that is a thing already. I thought we were supposed to wait until week 4, but
right.
But
at least till October.
Yeah, that's what Mark Schwab responded and was like, "Oh no, you didn't get the schedule change. We're doing the coaching change at week 4 now."
Hot seat starts week 4. Yeah.
There it is. Okay, he's like, "We'll have to get you the updated schedule." Yeah, I'm behind. I missed the update. But honestly, I think it is very important. I don't care if you think that Odell is a prima donna or a diva. If you have that idea of him, so be it. It is what it is. He's a wide receiver, and he at one point was elite. We're still waiting to get that kind of Odell Beckham Jr. back here with the Browns. But when you have a player like that, you expect, I don't want to say antics, but of course he's going to be upset with himself and maybe with the team. And Odell is Odell. He is unapologetically himself, and he's very open. So, yeah, on Thursday, you don't want that narrative. You want to make sure that you can at least try to get him incorporated. Get him some looks early. Don't wait until the end of the first quarter to finally target him. At least try. Don't force it, but look for him at some point in that first quarter. So you don't have that narrative because it's national television. You don't want that because they're going to be looking for it. I think another narrative that has the potential to be made is if Baker Mayfield doesn't look great, if he has some slip-ups, if he doesn't look comfortable, then there's going to be the question of, is Baker Mayfield this franchise quarterback? And me personally, I think that it is very, very early to tell, and you have to give him consistency, and changing the quarterback out every single time, every year, changing the coaching, changing the GM every year. It doesn't work. It has never worked for any team ever. That doesn't happen. You have to let them build consistency. You have to let them build a chemistry, and that only comes with time. So in the second game, that narrative will probably come out if Baker doesn't look his best. But I hope that people take those headlines, if they come, with a grain of salt and realize that if you want this team to have any success in the long-term game, you have to be patient and you have to wait and you have to sit. I know Browns fans are the best at sitting through misery and sitting through and being patient, but this is the most, I don't want to say certain, But it's the most like solidified roster and the most solidified coaching staff, GM. Everything looks very united. They put a lot of effort into this specifically. So you can't pull a Freddie Kitchens. You can't pull a get Baker out of here after this. I think you got to give him time. So that narrative might come. Hopefully people ignore it a little bit.
So I want to talk about that word consistency a little bit and patience, because I think Haslam tried that to some extent with Hugh Jackson. He stuck with him through the worst season we could ever imagine, and he brought him back, trying to establish something. Whether he pulled the plug on that too early, again, this is the second straight episode I've mentioned Hugh Jackson, so that's never going to happen again. But I'm just saying, like, it's not like they haven't tried to be consistent or tried to be patient. They tried to be the ultimate patience by saying, hey, 0-16, we're going to run this back. So at what point does your patience become stupidity, and at what point does your impatience become the right move? It's hard to find that balance. I agree with you, Camryn. I think the people in place now are probably the right people, but this is a huge game, Jeremy. This is, I don't want to say the season's on the line or lose or leave town, but oh my gosh, you go down 0-2 in the division, losing to the Bengals at home after what happened week 1. Jeremy, that's going to be a bad place for the Browns.
0-2 in the division. You lose to a rookie quarterback, a team that went 2-14 last year. You lose this game, you're right. There's going to be a lot of finger pointing. There's going to be a lot of talking. The big personalities are going to talk, and you have a rookie coach and a rookie GM. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't want to ever say a game this early is must win, but this game sure feels like like that this early. Because, I mean, it just, oh, my goodness, you lose this, and, oh, my goodness, you had a long, you have, 11 days till our next game, and it's just going to be a lot of finger pointing and a lot of talking in a locker room that already seems like it's a little on edge. So yeah, it's as close to a must win as you can have in week 2.
Well, on the flip side, though, if we win this game, then we play the Washington professional football team, which supposedly wasn't supposed to be very good, but they had an incredible win against Philly week 1. And so
Chase Young looked great.
You really hopefully could get some things rolling here. I think one of the narratives that we're going to see regardless of outcome is how bad our defense is, and how lack of depth we have. I know injuries, but just how much our offense is going to have to carry this team throughout the season, which, for better or worse, hey, let's go, Bake. Let's go.
Yeah, I want to see that defense with Ronnie Harrison and Greedy Williams. I want to see some of that before I say they're awful, because if you have some good corners and a good pass rush and a decent safety, that could change a lot. But yeah, you're right. I mean, for right now, we have to lean on that offense till we get to that point.
I think one of the narratives we're going to read is a bad defense. Camryn, I know it's really easy to overreact after week 1. Am I overreacting a little bit?
No, I mean, I think you calmed down. You did overreact a little bit, I think, right at the beginning. But
sure.
Those are valid concerns, and I think that everybody should be concerned. I don't want to discredit anyone who's feeling nervous. I don't want to discredit anyone who's maybe freaking out a little bit internally, because this is a very, very big game.
Huge.
And Sunday was a very, very bad game. So having these so close together, it's very easy to let, Sunday's results kind of turn how you're feeling and getting nervous and being concerned. That's totally acceptable. And then even if things go south on Thursday, that's when I think you can sound the alarms a little bit, and your overreactions will be a little bit more justified. But I think that even then, the Browns should win, but if they don't win well, if it doesn't look great, concerns. But I still think you can be concerned, and you can overreact a little bit. But I think a couple days later, you'll be back on board and back on the bandwagon. But you have every right to feel concerned, and especially, the defense has so many injuries. The offense has not connected. There hasn't been a real sign for this team to get excited about, other than the names on paper and the concept of what they could do. They haven't shown it. So Frustration, absolutely. Be frustrated with this team, but a little patience goes a long way. And I think that I don't think we're gonna have an 0-16 season, so I think we're gonna be all right. I don't know if it's gonna be the Super Bowl Super Browns that everybody, wanted, but they can do this. They can turn this around. We'll see it on Thursday. Hopefully, this team is who we think they are.
Jeremy, talk me off the ledge, man.
I can't. I'll talk to you tomorrow night. No, talk to me tomorrow about midnight. No, I think they could. Like she said, I think there was a little bit, like I said, of unreal expectation that first game for not having played a preseason game, walking into the Lions' den against the reigning MVP, a team with an established system. So that's why I really am curious to see what we look like tomorrow night in a better setting for us with some fans there. At our home stadium against a rookie quarterback. I feel much, I think we'll see more what this team should look like. Like Camryn said early, Coach Stefanski got away from what he likes to do because we fell behind. There wasn't the play action we thought we were going to see, which, when you get down, sometimes you just throw it to the wind and just start, trying to push the ball downfield. So I think, the game we're going to manage the game better, and all that stuff that we wanted to see from Stefanski, we're going to see tomorrow night.
All right, it's time for some bold predictions, Jeremy. Not tepid predictions, not okay predictions, not scare predictions. Bold predictions, Jeremy. What you got, man?
I'm going to say that Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt will combine for 3 touchdowns.
Let's go. Night. I thought you were going to say 300 yards, which would have been bold.
I almost thought he was going to say that too.
No. I was like, oh 3 touchdowns. No, it's bold, not ridiculous, right? Bold. So 3 touchdowns.
Say that's bold only because we scored
6 points.
6 points last week.
So yeah, that's a bold prediction.
That's bold. I'll give that to you. Camryn, do you have a bold prediction?
You know what? I hate to say it because I don't want to jinx it, but I think that Baker Mayfield on Thursday looks like 2018 Baker Mayfield.
Let's go.
We'll take it, baby. We'll take it.
So what does that mean? Let's be bold, Camryn.
Slinging the ball, super accurate, deep passes when he's not running, but run. Please don't abandon the run game. Just absolute bombs, clutch moments, and then the hype that I think that he gets his chemistry, that hype that you see, that confidence, that swagger. I think that there's going to be a moment in the game. This is my bold prediction.
Yes.
There's going to be that moment in the game where Baker Mayfield looks like cocky Baker Mayfield. The crotch grab, some kind of display, just some kind of hype moment that you're like, Baker's back.
So you think they're playing in the air tomorrow?
I think they should hold off until the next game. Let him have his moment and then bring it back.
Gotcha. So my bold predictions with Baker as well. Camryn, you said a lot of great words, a lot of really fun words, but I wanted some numbers, so I'll do the numbers for you, okay?
You do the numbers for me, thank you.
We'll do 450 and 4 touchdowns.
Oh my goodness,
that's bold. I was just thinking I wasn't thinking numbers. I was thinking swagger because he had some. It could have been a little short slant pass that made him excited. But you're going bold. I love it. And
I think he'll throw 2 in the first quarter. I think it's just going to be it's just going to be a shootout. It might be 40-50, 54-50. It's going to be a high-scoring game.
I love it. I hope you're right.
Jeremy, you love my bold predictions. You think I'm an idiot every time I say these numbers.
Well, 450. Don't get me wrong. I would love it. That would be a fun game. But wow, that is bold. We'll say that.
Do we have the receivers to do it? To make plays?
Sure. We have the weapons to do it.
The offensive line to give Baker time to throw.
If they play.
Is the Bengals defense bad enough?
It's bad. What you're saying is all the ingredients are there.
All of them are there.
Legendary night. I gotcha.
All of them are there. It's gonna be a wonderful, cool night. It's not gonna be too hot, not gonna be too cold. It's gonna be 6,000 of you Jeremys there, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be magical. It's gonna be, hey, where were you the night Baker threw for 450 on primetime TV?
I'm going to save my ticket stub for proof. Oh, wait. There's no more ticket stubs. I'm going to screenshot my ticket
And
stub
print it
for
off.
proof.
Dude, Jay, how's that
Exactly.
backpack, man? The season holder backpack.
Oh, it's actually pretty nice. I got it. And my hunter asked if he could use it for school.
Of course.
So if they go back to school, supposedly they're going back at the end of the month. But yeah, Hunter wants to use that. It's nice. They give you 2 little nice pens as well. These cool little Browns pens. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those, but yeah, the Browns always do well with their season ticket holder gifts. And the backpack was very nice.
I like that like sideways stripe, Camryn. Did you see those like travel like sweats like outfits?
Oh
they
yeah,
had?
they're sweatsuits. Those are
Yeah.
sick.
Oh, that sideways stripe.
Wait a
I
minute.
need it. I'm gonna have to
this.
invest.
I missed this one.
Oh,
I gotta
Jay,
Google
man.
this. I missed
Oh,
it. I
they're
gotta see
beautiful. They like I want a set to lounge around in the house with. Like they just look so comfortable and
It's
so
very
crisp,
comfy.
and like I would feel good like wearing that to Target to do my shopping.
this. Yeah, there we go.
So Jay, that pin you got, that sideways stripe, they've used that on a couple like players only or
Okay, I'm
coach
pulling
only.
them up now. Okay, yeah, okay. I'm gonna try to find
Looks
them
real
now.
good. Well,
Cool.
thank
They're
you all
real
so much
fun.
for downloading and listening. This is our week 2 preview against the Bengals. This is a big game. Big game. Hope you guys have a lot of fun watching it later tonight. Camryn, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Make or break. Not really. I mean, there's a lot of games, but this is the game to set the precedent for the rest of your season. Forget about week 1. Let's go into this fresh, refreshed by your couple of days break that you had in between your Sunday game and your Thursday game under the primetime lights. Show the national audience that this Browns team means business. We're not as bad as we looked on Sunday. They've got the talent. Let's do this the right way, week 2.
Jeremy?
Big W tomorrow. I'm going to say it now. That's my other prediction. We're going to win this game. We're going to leave happy. And we're going to be talking next week about possible 2-game winning streak.
Let's go, man. Thank you so much for downloading. Follow us on Twitter at OrangeIsOranger, at PressPlayPods. You can follow Camryn at Cammy Justice. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm at the Chase Smith. Jeremy, you keep doing you, man. But people are wanting you on Twitter, though. People are.
I can't stop. I can't do it.
I don't want you to. I'm just.
Every time I'm gone, you bring me back.
I don't want to be that guy. You keep doing you, man. Enjoy the family and the football, and we'll talk to you guys after the game.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
Ooh.
Let's get it.